Well, hello friends. Welcome back to the program. Today we're going to work on keyboard focus in Serenity. And I have a particular UI thing that I want to improve, and let me show it to you. So it's the open file dialog, this standard system dialog that every app can use. And it's pretty okay to navigate it with the mouse, but if you use the keyboard, I noticed this super irritating thing. If I type something here, so now I have the file name text box focused, and if I want to tab around to other widgets, as you can see, I'm moving back and forth here. It takes a silly number of taps to get one lap around all the widgets. So that's from here and back again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 taps of the tab key to cycle through all the widgets. And that is just, doesn't feel good. There are too many focusable, keyboard focusable things in this dialog. And also, something else that's kind of weird I notice here is that when you tab away from a text box, then we still show the selection here. It's just grayed out, and you can see it up here as well. And I'm not sure that's actually useful for anything, because what if you have a selection like that? You tab away, and then you click on the thing. If you click anywhere, then you set a new selection, right? And if you tab back to it, it automatically selects everything. So that doesn't seem particularly useful. Like you tab away, you tab back, everything is selected. You have a selection, you tap anywhere, and it clears the selection. Yeah, so we're showing this, we're showing the previous selection in text boxes when you move away from them. But there's no way to recover that selection by clicking in the widget anyway. So it's that's kind of silly. So let's do something about that as well. But yeah, let's start by looking at the focus thing. So we have this mechanism where you can see focus rectangles by turning on an environment variable. So here we can see the cyan rectangle around the text edit. And if we open up, for example, the search and replace bar, you can see focus move around. And this cyan rectangle just helps us see focus better. So if we open up, then there is no focus rectangle because the open dialog runs a separate process, of course. So we have to actually, that's a system service. So we have to spawn that system service with the environment flag. Well, we can do that. We just do this. GUI focus debug equals 1. Okay, let's boot up. Okay, here we are. So now let's look at that issue, right? So when I tab away, we're tabbing individually through each of the items here. And then we go here, and then we tab individually through all of these toolbar buttons up here. And then comes this guy, the big view, and then we're finally back at the file name text box. So this feels very excessive in terms of keyboard focusable widgets. Really, we should make the essential widgets keyboard focusable, and stuff like, I think these toolbar buttons here don't need to be keyboard focusable at all. There are keyboard shortcuts for them if you wanted to use them from the keyboard, but I don't think it adds much to have them be keyboard focusable. We could have a mode where, I'm just thinking, like, if you are completely unable to use a mouse, it is nice to expose these buttons to the keyboard and to have a way to discover the shortcuts. So perhaps we could have something that exposes shortcuts for everything that has a shortcut, just displays its shortcut if you press some special key combo or something like that. But just as a first cut here, we can remove 6 tab steps by just not having toolbar buttons focusable. And I think actually that would make sense here as well, because you can't tab back from the text input because it swallows tabs. But what if you go here and then you tab? Yeah, then you end up here. Actually, you can't see that so well. So let me just, yeah, so by going down here, I'm able to tab my way up to the toolbar, and these are actually keyboard focusable as well. Which I think that's not a really useful feature. If a user wanted to use these actions from the keyboard, I think they would be much more likely to use the menu anyway. The menu is already streamlined for keyboard access with Alt F and then N with the underscore and everything, or underline. So everything is kind of already set up for fast keyboard access. So yeah, so let's make these toolbar buttons toolbar buttons should be non-focusable. Toolbar button has a current focus policy of tab focus. So tab focus means that you can a widget can be focused by tabbing to it. There's tab focus, click focus, and no focus. And then you can also combine click and tab focus. But basically, the focus policy we want here is just no focus, so that it can simply not be focused. I think that actually makes sense. So let's see what that does to this dialog. So now we tab, we get up here, and then from here we jump down there. So I think that's already a huge improvement, that you don't have to cycle through these things here. That's 6 steps removed. Strong improvement. And then all of these guys here, I don't know that you should tab all the way through them. I feel like this should be considered one big widget, and then it has selection. So it's a bit like a, what is it, like a radio button group or something like that, where this tray area here would have focus, and then it has a selected item in it. That's going to be a bit harder to solve, I think, because these are actually buttons, individual buttons. So we'll have to do some hacking to achieve that, but yeah. So anyway, let's see. Let's start with that toolbar thing. So toolbar libgui, make toolbar buttons non-focusable by default. Toolbar buttons are meant as a meant for quick mouse access to common actions, not really as while keyboard users by keyboard well, fast keyboard or quick keyboard access is normally achieved via keyboard shortcuts and underlined menu items. This makes interfaces with many toolbar buttons, e.g. the GUI file picker a lot nicer to use via keyboard, a lot nicer to navigate. Okay. Yeah, that's an improvement. So we had 16 steps, and we took 6 out. And how many steps are those? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. So if we can take those steps out as well and turn it into a single step, I feel like that would be great. But before we do that, though, let's do something about the selection thing. So the solution here is probably to just not text editor, paint. Paint event. The solution is probably to just not paint selection in non-focused text editors. So text editor paint is pretty big. And where do we draw the selection? My goodness. It's been a while since I looked at this stuff. Trailing white space. If physical line has a selection, then, oh yeah, right. So this is how we render text selection, is that we render all the text initially with no selection visualized. And then on top of that, we will draw a rectangle in the selection background color. And then we draw the selected text on top of that in a contrasting color to the selection background. Right here, we pick colors. So background color, if focused, is the palette selection. And if it's non-focused, then it's the inactive selection. But, right, but we always paint the text. So I think maybe what we want to do is just this, right? And then wait, where was that check? If the physical line has selection and is focused. Yeah, because if we're not focused, then we can just not bother. In fact, then we don't even need these temporaries. We can just slot them in where they would go. Like that. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, so you have a selection there, you go down here, and you don't see the selection up here anymore. You click there, behaves as before, and you don't realize that you lost your selection. Click, 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 click. Yeah, that feels pretty reasonable. So I think let's do that. libgui only paint text editor selection when focused. Showing the selection in non-focused text editors was not really useful, since refocusing the widget would snap, or would clear or otherwise change. Would clear or change the selection immediately anyway. Yeah. So Yeah, that's nice. This is one of those things that has always bothered me a little bit, but I never articulated what I didn't like about it. And I guess the thing I didn't like about it was that it was useless because it showed you a selection that you couldn't recover anyway. So it was just a ghost of a previous state that you can't return to. Which we shouldn't be showing that type of thing in the UI. So now the remaining thing is the tray on the left side with the common locations. So common locations. That's in the file picker dialog. It's a common locations frame that has a vertical layout. Yes, but okay, so here is where we iterate through all the common locations, and then we add a button for each one. Sure, that's fine. So I guess, what is the best solution for this? Either if you have some sort of mechanism where the frame has the focus, but it still allows you to tab through its children, or no, not tab through them. Wait, how should that work even? Like, what would be the intuitive way for this to work? I think what seems intuitive to me is that you would, wait, this is the wrong app. You would tab and you would focus this entire thing, and then you would keyboard navigate up and down. So that already works because up and down is a sort of like tab. So you would keyboard navigate up and down, but but they wouldn't tab focus. So there are two approaches to this, I guess. Either we make a new tray widget that sort of implements this thing here, and we stop using a composite widget. Because right now it's a composite widget built out of a frame containing vertically laid out buttons, right? We could turn this into a tray widget that just paints and manages mouse events and everything. That does feel like a bit of a hassle though. Like compositing the buttons like this feels nice because you don't have to think about all the other stuff. But I guess the up and down thing, how would I want that to work though? I would sort of, I guess if we turn off the, because this is kind of not visible with the focus debugging rect on, I think I would like it if they appeared as if you were hovering over them. Like this. Like if they would look like this when you cycle through them with the keyboard, that would be really sweet. Except for the currently already open one, of course. Because now, if I put the focus here and then I keyboard up and down, actually, I can't barely make out the focus rect. There is a focus rect, but it's like, it's not a good color, so you can't really see it. Let's get the magnifier here so I can show you. Oops, let's amplify the magnification and take a look at that. Wait, hold on. Let me create some space. You see that it does have a dotted focus rect around it. Oh no, look at that. It bleeds over the edge of that border. And it's not super nicely aligned either. Although it is well aligned in the unpressed case. Oh, I see. So it's only the depressed one that has bogus alignment. Well, Well, let's not worry too much about that. Although the fact that it bleeds over the right-hand side, that does bother me. But we should probably not draw a focus direct around those things anyway, because focus should be at the tray widget level. Yeah, I don't know that I see a way out of this in a nice way that doesn't involve creating a new tray widget. But that is probably pretty painless. What the heck? I didn't write any new widgets for a while, so let's just make a tray widget. So that would be, let's call it tray. Tray. I like that name for those. Tray.h. All right. Copyright. libgui widget. Okay. And let's come up with this thing. So class tray. Let's inherit from GUI frame, actually. Seems like a good choice. Yeah, this is gonna be neato. Okay, constructor. And then what do we want to do on this thing? I guess we want to paint, and then we want to add buttons to it. Yes. So let's see, virtual void paint event. Yeah, let's just start on it. We'll start by painting it, and then once we can paint everything, then we'll figure the rest out. So, okay. Okay. It's nice to have to compose widgets out of other widgets, but the moment you want to have sort of custom behaviors, it gets harder to compose. Maybe there's a logical extension way to do compositing here instead, but nothing sticks out to me, so let's just power through this. We'll just set up a paint event, and we'll need a painter. And then we'll also want to add some bitmaps, and we'll want to have items. So add item. And what is an item? An item has a string and an icon, I guess. Let's say that you have a string and an item, yeah. String and a bitmap icon. Okay. And then we could have a callback, although I like it better if what you get is something like on item activation, yeah. So if you click on an item, then we will fire this callback. Okay. And maybe we allow you to pass some custom data. So text, icon, and custom data. And the custom data will be passed to you here, let's say. Okay. And then we want to store these in something. So like a vector of item, where item is a struct that has a text, non-null ref footer to graphics bitmap, and the custom data. So literally the things that you had here. Okay. Tray add item, poof. And then we just do m items, append, or no, append. Forgot to move. Move and move. There we go. All right. And then after you add an item, we should probably repaint the widget. So we'll just ask for an update. Okay. And then let's instantiate one of these things. So that common locations frame is instead going to be a GUI tray, be common locations tray. Yeah, we can just set it up like that, common locations tray. And then common locations frame now becomes a common locations tray. Bloop. You will be a GUI tray. All right. The background role we can set up automatically in the tray. So we will do that in the constructor. Look at that. That just makes sense. Why doesn't it highlight? Anyway, let's see. So common locations tray. Why is that initialized all the way up here? Feels like we could use it. We could initialize it down here where we use it. Yeah. Okay, so instead of add button like this, this now becomes a bit more like common locations tray add item. So the item will be whatever the text was, location.name. All right. And then the icon. So that's this guy right here. And the custom data will be the path. So location.path. Okay. Then we don't need that temporary. And all of this style information. Oh, right. So we have on click here. So this becomes, we're not going to have a button. Instead, we're just going to have the tray on item activation, which will then simply, it will receive the custom data, right? So string const custom data, set path. Yes, I think that's pretty good. Maybe we should allow iconless tray entries actually. That's probably okay. So we'll make this a ref footer instead of a non-null ref footer. If you want to add something that's only a piece of text, that should be okay. All right. Yeah, and then the rest of this is just cool info. Common location buttons. What is that used for? So we keep track of all of these buttons that we instantiated, because if you switch to, oh, right. So if you switch to a directory that's in the common locations tray, we update that button to be checked. Right, so that's something we have to do a bit differently. I guess we need a way to toggle buttons here. So I'm thinking, should this return an index maybe? That seems kind of sensible. It would return the index, and then we would just keep track of the index. Set checked, size t index. Set item checked. That seems reasonable. So how would we use that in the file picker? Common location buttons. It wouldn't have buttons, but it would instead have an ID. Tray item index. Right. Index and index. Boom. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to bring this with me here as a comment, so I can reference what it's supposed to look like. Okay. And then what am I missing? Model on complete. What is on complete? File system model on complete. Is that like on complete? Oh, that's not a well-named thing. We should find a better name for that. But basically, like when you change the path of the file system model and then it finishes successfully, I guess, then that callback gets invoked. So let's see. Wait, these are copies. Ugh. Well, so anyway, what we want to do here is to just get that tray. Oh, that's why that was up there. I see. Common locations tray. Set item checked. Oh, shoot. And then the index. Okay. So location button dot path. Right. So that needs a Boolean for whether it's checked or unchecked. Cool. And same concept here. So location button dot tray item index. We need to get the tray. Okay, lots of stuff. So these guys apparently need a checked flag, which we can then update. So what we'll do is have, oh, this thing is supposed to return the index actually. That's pretty easy. We just return m items. Or new index is m items size. There we go. Set item checked. And then m items at index checked is equal to checked, then that's a no op. Otherwise, items at index.checked is checked, and then repaint. Okay. I'm thinking if you check one of these boys, we should also uncheck all the other boys. I feel like. So if checked, yeah, so if I is not index, then m items index checked is false. And actually, in fact, we can do this in a loop like this instead. So oh wait, no. Let's not get fancy. Let's just be simple. Let's just be simple. We can do fancier things later because it looks a little bit messy, but that's okay. Okay, so how do we paint this? So I guess we decide that these things have a certain height. Previously, we used 22 as a fixed height, as you can see here. So 22 seems reasonable. So we just have to lay these out into rectangles. So we'll want to have a style painter so that we can paint buttons. And then let's see. So maybe we can simplify this by letting these things know their index, and they can also have a way to get their rect. Let's do that. That's pretty neat because it allows you to be a bit more expressive. Like, for example, we can do this. If item dot index is not index. Yeah, it's a bit nice. And sure. So how do you compute your rectangle? Well, it is a function of your index. So x, let's just say 0. Y is your index times 22 for the height, let's say. Just magic numbering it for now. The width is going to be, ooh, we need a reference to the tray here, actually. That's okay though. We'll do that. Tray const, sure. So that's the tray frame inner rect width. Tray frame inner rect. No, wait. The height is 22. Const expr item height 22. Something like that. Okay. And then for auto item in items, item rect for this, sure. And then we simply paint that thing. So GUI paint into this widget, clip to the event rect so that we don't overdraw unnecessarily. And then I guess we'll just start by drawing some rectangles. So draw a rect, the rect color, black, whatever. And then we'll worry about all the other stuff later. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing even painting something. Set item check. Oh, shoot, I forgot to actually add this to the build. Okay. Trey is not a member of color roll. Wait, why? That doesn't seem right. Palette. Yeah, it is a member. I have to give that a type. That's very silly. This cannot be narrowed. Sure. This thing wants a size T return type, and everything is good. Okay. Wow, taking your sweet time there. Crash. Very crash. Okay. What did we do wrong? File picker constructor at line 46. We are screwing up. Sure. What did we screw up? 46. 246, sorry. On item activation. I'm assigning to that, but oh, wait. I forgot to, if I want to use it from GML like this, I have to actually expose it. So what you got to do for that is you have to register widget. And that we need to do here. So register widget in the GUI namespace, and the widget name is Trey. Otherwise, that's not going to work. Okay, so our tray is here. It's looking a little bit crap, but it's a start. So let's start with, I guess, well, let's start with fill with background color true. And then let's make sure we paint a frame around ourselves. So that would be just calling up to GUI frame paint event before the regular paint. And then we want to make our offsets be frame aware. So instead of 0 here, we want to use the frame thickness as the X value. Wait, why doesn't that work? Non-static member. Oh, right, yeah, of course. Tray.frame thickness. And same thing here, frame thickness plus. You just got to take that frame. There's a 2 pixel frame around this thing. Well, there's going to be. So we just have to take that into account. Here we go. It's starting to look a little bit better. Next step would be, I guess, to paint these as regular buttons. So instead of just doing a draw rect, let's use graphics style painter paint button. And that would be the rect, our palette, the button style, which will be cool bar. Excuse me. Oh, pressed state. I guess we have to keep track of this type of stuff. So pressed, item hovered, item checked. Enabled is I guess if the widget is enabled and focused, let's just say never focused. Why do these have a focused? What does a button being focused look like? Oh, right. Yeah, it's not relevant for Coolbar, but it is relevant for regular plain buttons because they get a sort of a blacker, thickened outline in that case. But that's not relevant right now. So we want pressed and hovered. Okay. Great. And then we're gonna need some mouse events. So mouse move event. And, you know, the usual mouse up, mouse down. Okay, so those. And we probably want hover and leave. Wait, what does hover event get? I feel like the... No, it's not hover, it's enter event. Enter event, and it's just a plain core event. Okay. Enter event, core event. Yeah, it's been a while since I made a new widget, as you can tell. I don't even remember the names of the events. But this is going okay so far. Okay, so that's quite a hefty chunk of event code that we have to implement, but nothing that we can't do. So tray. Okay. And event. Yes, actually we don't need those. So now we need a way to figure out the item under the cursor. So let's have a way to grab at that. Something like item at a point. So let's implement that. It's a private mem. Oh, of course. Okay, so the simple way to do this is just iterate through the items and then say if item rect for this tray contains the position, then return the item. Otherwise, just return null footer. Okay. So if auto item is item at, oh wait, shit. We can't use the enter event because we don't know. That's kind of a flaw of the enter event, actually, that the enter event should probably be either be a mouse event or be an enter event so that you can give coordinates. Because I can't, there's nothing here that tells me which item you're entering over. So we're gonna have to wait for the first mouse move, actually. Although I think that will always come. So yeah, that's not the end of the world. Although it seems like it would be nice if the enter event had coordinate information. So let's see, then like item hovered is true. Something like that. If item is not hovered, then we need to update. Wait, if item is hovered, then we need to return because it's a no-op. That's what we need to do. otherwise do that. Yes, that's what we'll do. That's a shadow. Maybe we can write this in a slightly nicer style. I don't feel bad about shadowing that. Can you turn off the complaining about that? Because we allow shadowing. Wait. Okay, I don't know. How do I turn that off? Shadowing names from outer scopes. Clook. Go away. Did it go away? I feel like that didn't change it. Maybe I didn't do it right. Wait, is this, oh, this Python, it's some Python thing. Okay, well that's my bad. Shadow. Was that a compiler complaint or something? We're not billing with shadow though. Okay, let's not get distracted. I will just tolerate that. Okay. This, I guess, the more I look at it, the less I like it, because it looks so ugly that we're using the same name. So, dang it. Let's say a hovered item then. Maybe it had a point. So let's see, mouse down event, mouse up event. When we get a leave event, what we want to do is we just want to iterate through everything and make sure that nothing is hovered. And then we can do an update, just to be sure. Okay, let's see how this works. Oh, mouse events, of course. Enter. Right, we decided against that, but let's make sure that we have some text on these things. So if we have if the item has an icon, also maybe we should just call it bitmap. Okay, Sea Lion, I'm not going to let you do that because I can tell that you're overreaching and trying to rename unrelated things. So sometimes the rename usages thing in Sea Lion gets a little bit overzealous and renames unrelated things, which can be a little bit frustrating. But that's okay. We can do that by hand. It was a tiny rename anyway. So if we have a bitmap, then painter, draw bitmap, and we will draw it where exactly? Let's just do it at the rect location for now. Oh shoot, this is for literal bitmaps. I guess what we want to do is blit. I want to blit the item bitmap rect. No opacity or alpha to worry about. And then we want to draw some text. So draw text, rect, centered left. Okay, I think we're gonna have to break these rects out here actually. So interact icon rect. That's gonna be at the leftmost part of the widget. So the rect X, rect Y, and then I guess item bitmap. Let's say 16 by 16. That should be fine. So we'll draw it there, and then we will derive the text rect from the icon rect. So the text rect is starting at icon rect.right plus some cool number, and the item Y. And then the width of that is whatever remains, actually. So I guess we can do something like this, followed by rect.height, followed by, since now it'll overlap too far to the right, but instead of arithmeticking, we can also just intersect it with the item rect, which will cut off the slack on the right hand side. And then we draw text into the text rect. So there's the rect followed by the string, followed by some font, text alignment, center left, color, so graphics color, palette color, tray, palette color, graphics color role, tray text. Okay. Oof, that was a little bit of programming there. Let's see how that looks in practice. Not terrible, not terrible indeed. It's a start. Does look a little bit awkward with that button color, actually. Button style is button style tray. Wait, what does that mean? Button style tray. What was that achieving previously? Doesn't mean anything. What the heck? Okay, so wait, what if I just pass tray here then? What does that do though? I guess tray just means not cool bar somewhere. Oh, I see. So it makes it not fill in the background. That's pretty good. So we need to center those icons vertically, and also that's not enough padding there. So let's just add a little bit more padding. 6, and we will start the icon rect, add a little bit of an offset. So +2, y +2, And then we'll say icon rect, center within, rect. Center vertically within, actually. Which means that we can just ignore the Y value. Yes. What will that do? Okay, so that black outline is screwing everything up. So let's get rid of that so we can see what it really looks like. Okay. It's pretty decent. There's still, yeah, we need to like yoink it to the right still. So we need about 4 here. And the distance from the icon to the text seems good-ish. What if it had 2 more pixels though? What if it did? Okay. Yeah, that looks a bit more like it. And then if you mouse outside of this, we should unhover also. It's not just when you leave the entire tray widget area, but like also when you go below. So that would be in the mouse move event. If there's no hovered item, then do this. If item is hovered, then we'll need an update. Yeah. So if something was hovered and we now have nothing hovered, we will update the widget. Ah, damn it. Why do I keep starting the wrong app? Okay, so there we go. That's pretty good. And then we want these things to be checkable and clickable and all of that stuff. So let's see about checkable. Actually, didn't we do the item check thing already? Set item checked. Update. Does that actually work though? Set item checked. Let's see if somebody's actually trying to set them in the tray here. So set item checked, index. Should be pretty straightforward just to find out if somebody's setting it. So that we know that the bug is in the tray class, because I feel like it should be showing up in a checked appearance state. So they're all being set to true. Well, that doesn't seem right. Now they all got set to false. What stupid nonsense did I do? Set item checked is being called with a bogus value because wait, what? Modeled root path is location button path. Okay, well, we're doing some nonsense here when we're iterating. So iterating, index is this, modeled root path is this, and the location button path is this. So location button tray item index, root path, and location button path. What are we screwing up? Moderate home and on. Wait, why is the location button path home and on for all of these things? That doesn't seem right. Common location buttons, append path index. Oh shoot, path is the wrong thing here. Location.path is what we wanted. Aha. Okay. Yeah, that explains it. So I guess we had a shadowing local earlier, right? Yeah, there was a shadowing local here called path before we changed this. And then we got rid of the local, and then it was using the outer path. So it's funny how I keep encountering reasons to actually care about shadowing locals. Very interesting. Okay, so set item check true. Down, so the desktop should be set to true. And you go to downloads, and then downloads should be set to true. Set item check true. Wonder why it doesn't appear that way in the thingy. Let's have a look at paint button. Item pressed, hovered, checked. So it seems to me that this should work, but maybe I'm screwing something up here. We're just going all in on printf debugging today, it seems like. So, yeah. Let's just printf our way to success. If you click on this boy, clear for. Oh shoot, wait, clear item index. Ah, that's the problem. I was not using item index. I was using the argument at the parameter index. Okay, well that was a stupid bug. Okay, let's see if we can have a little bit less silly bugs. So that's fine. See, now it looks checked. When that's the Active Directory, switch to downloads, poof, downloads is now checked. Of course, we can't click on these puppies yet, but they automatically move around. That's pretty cool. Yeah, root right there. And if you go somewhere that's not represented, nothing is auto-checked. Great. So then, what do we need to do now? We need to make these things clickable. So let's say that when you press down on one of these things with the mouse down event, so pressed item is item at event position if there is no pressed item. Also, if the event button is not GUI mouse button left, yeah, so if it's not a primary mouse button click, then screw it. If there's no pressed item, screw it. But if there is one, pressed item, pressed is true. Yes. So it's being pressed. Although, yeah, now it's like this eternal thing of like, when something is being pressed, you still only want to consider it pressed while the mouse is within the widget rectangle. So an example of that is like if you use the cancel button here, right? If I press on that, it gets a depressed state. But if I move the mouse cursor out, even though I'm still holding the mouse button, it now looks unpressed. But moving the cursor back in makes it look depressed. So also, depressed is such a weird word. Probably should just be called pressed. Let's not say depressed because it sounds so confusing. It sounds like it should mean unpressed, but whatever. So let's call it pressed and unpressed. So we have to remember that the rect matters. So pressed is true, but in order to display it with the pressed state, we have to, let's see, we have to keep that in mind here. I guess pressed and hovered. Maybe we can just do this. Pressed and hovered. Because if you're pressed and hovered, that means that you should be rendered as pressed. Okay, so pressy, pressy. Although, wait, that's confusing. Oh, right, we don't have the logic to let go. For pressed, we also want to offset them a little bit. So we want to do that thing where if it is pressed, let's see, how do we do that? If item pressed, then icon rect translate by 1,1. So we just, shift it one way down, one pixel down and to the right for that pressed appearance. And then mouse down, it needs to have some corresponding action in mouse up, so that if you let go, so let's see, if you let go and let's say, actually we can do this thing right here. So pressed item is item at position. If not pressed item, well, we still have to clear the pressed flag actually. So let's see. If not pressed item, if pressed item. Pressed item and pressed item pressed. Then on item activation, now we activate the item. So pressed item, custom data. Okay. And then we want to clear all of these flags. So item pressed false. Update. All right. Yeah, so this thing becomes a little bit update heavy, but it's not such a big deal. And we can certainly put more effort into reducing the number of paint things. Also, that looks really weird because we need to also shift the text as well, but that actually gets a bit confused because of the relationship between those two things. So let's see, where did we do the icon rect? So maybe we should compute the text rect and the icon rect at the same time here. And then text rect translate by. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward, but at the same time, it's okay. I think we can get rid of this now. Okay, cool. Cool. Oh, it should stop looking that way if it's not hovered. So if item pressed and item hovered. Yep, that will be better. Oh yeah, now it's starting to look all nice and natural. Okay. All right. And then I think we want to do bold text for the for checked items, something that we had before. So let's see. Item checked. If so, graphics, font database. Font database, default font, default bold font. No, wait, that's not what I want to do. I want to do font. I want to get the font of this thing. Get a bold variant for it. Can I do that? Right, of course. So this font or this font. Does that work? That's a const reference. That's a const reference. That's also a const reference. Then we just have to pass in the font. That's not where that goes. How about there? Okay. So yeah, so we pass in a bold variant of the font for checked items. Let's see how that looks. Okay, looking bold and beautiful. It's a little bit of a clip there. I think we went a little overboard on the padding, actually. It doesn't look particularly good. You can see here in particular, there's too much horizontal padding. So let's scale that back to, I don't know. Let's get to magnifier and take a look-see. Yeah, I feel like maybe even 5. So cut 3 pixels off that. See what we feel. It looks a little bit cramped all of a sudden. But maybe it's okay. Maybe that's okay. Yeah, I mean, we can always tweak these things. That actually does look pretty nice. Okay, so now that we've done all this, what is the state of tabbing around, right? So tab goes to here from here. We tab all the way up there and down here. And okay, so now we're just cycling through these things, and this thing doesn't get any tab focus at all. So all the stuff we've done so far, we could have achieved by just making none of these focusable. But I think it would be nice if you can get here with the keyboard. So let's make it focusable. Perhaps we just have to figure out how this should work. So the tray should have a focus role. So set focus policy, rather. GUI focus policy tab focus. Okay. And then if we have focus, we need to react to some things. So focus event, I forget what the argument is. Focus event, yeah, seems like it. And it's probably called something else like focus in. Yep, focus in, and we have focus out. Okay. And then we also need to listen for key down events. Okay. So what are we going to do in these events? Well, let's see. Let's see what we do here. So when we gain focus, I'm thinking maybe the easiest thing to do would just share the logic between hover and keyboard navigation. So we would say something here like set item hovered 0. So if m items is non-empty, then set item hovered 0. Yeah, we can do that. And if you leave, then we can just say set nothing hovered, I guess. So yeah, we need to implement this. So if it's empty, return, otherwise items 0 hovered true update. Okay. That seems like a reasonable behavior. Let's try it out. And when you focus out, we just clear everybody. So like that, basically. Yeah, again, like overeager with the updates and repaints, but that's fine for now. And then when you key down, if event key is key code key down, if event modifiers, so there are no modifiers, let's say key down and no modifiers. And also if m items is empty, then return, of course. So if you key down, then you want to switch to the next thing. So if we have a hovered index, so let's see, or actually we can do this. Item hovered, then also the way that we do the hovered thing is really weird. Because why am I storing this on each one of these instead of having something like this, right? So like m pressed item, right? So because then I don't have to loop through all the time. I don't know why I didn't do it like this. It's clearly nicer. So let's actually go with that. Checked item index. Let's get rid of those. And then hovered item index is nothing. Hovered item index is 0. Sure. Key down event. So m hovered item index is hovered item index value, or oh no, hold on. If we don't have a value, so nothing is hovered, then the first item becomes hovered. Otherwise, when you press down, we just want to go to the next item. And if that loops around, then we need to skip back to 0. Yes. Okay. And then update. Wait, what? Bookmark? I don't want a bookmark. Okay, and now we have to change a fujillion things, but that's okay. Hovered index is index. Wait, no. That's not at all checked. Only one thing can be checked because it's exclusive. Right. So there's only one of each of these. Set item checked. So if we're doing a checked set, then checked item index becomes index. If we're unchecking, if mChecked item index is index, then checked item index becomes nothing, and then we do an update, let's say. Yeah. And then is pressed is pressed item index. Is hovered. Yeah. This will be so much nicer. What the heck was I thinking? But this is also a good example of why, like, you need to keep reevaluating, like, am I writing this in the nicest way possible? And we were clearly not doing that. So it's a good thing that we didn't just continue with that bad abstraction, because all of those loops were really ugly, but I was just accumulating irritation and then finally realized what we should be doing. Okay, so what's even going on here, right? This is clearly ugly. So if you're hovering nothing, then what we do is that, and then update. Actually, here we can be a bit nice and only update if we had a hovered item. Yep. And hovered item index is hovered item index. Yep. Something like that. Okay. Okay. Leave event. All these loops go away because how ugly was that? Holy moly. And we are back. Okay, so much nicer. We should also handle key up, obviously. So key code key up with no modifiers. If you don't have an item selected, we can take 0. We could also do items.size -1. Take the last one if you key up from nothing. It might be nice. Starting from the bottom. And outside of that, we will just say, let's see. So if you don't have a value or have an index item value is 0, then we loop around. Yeah. Otherwise, we will simply -1. And then on mouse down, we want to do kind of the same thing, except we want to activate, sorry. If you key down the enter key, so if event no modifiers and event key is key code key return. And we do have a hovered item index. Then let's activate it. So m items hovered item index value custom data. I wonder how that will work in practice. I guess we'll find out. Oh, look at that. So now I can move these with the keyboard and enter activates. So I can just up and down these guys, right? But if I tab, wait, where did my focus go now? Oh, shoot, wait. This thing swallows the tab. Oh, wait. Why does that happen? Because I have to ignore the key event, I guess, for tab. Wait, how does this work again? Key is the event. The event needs to be ignored if it's a tab press. So if event key is key code tab. And then that will allow it to bubble so that somebody else can take it and cycle to the next widget. I think that's what we're missing. I forget if there's like a nicer way I should be doing that. I don't recall. Wait, why am I stuck in this widget? That's so weird. Wait. Where do we implement the dang tab navigation? Next, focusable focus, next widget. This is done by widget key down. Oh, shoot. I am not calling the base class like a total doofus. We definitely need to do that. So let's just call to base here. That's what we should be doing. So our base is frame, so frame key down event. And then if the event has been accepted, we do no further processing. Yeah. That's the nicer way of doing it. Because if our base class like GUI widget wants to process this thing and implement tab around, yes, exactly. Okay, that's really cool. So let's see about system server. And bring back those rectangles. GUI focus debug is 1. And then let's see how this looks. If we can actually see that beautiful rectangle moving around. Okay, so we're here. Oh, and because nothing is selected, I can't go to open. Okay, so open, cancel. Now this thing is focused. Now that thing. Now this thing. Now that thing. Okay, yes. This is a very reasonable rotation, I feel. And this thing actually cooperates with the hover state. So if you press up and down, it doesn't do anything. Wait, why doesn't that work? Oh, damn it. Now, wait, it follows the keys. Wait, do we have to do this before we do that? Oh, that's kind of messy. No, that's not very good. Wait, how do we factor this? So maybe what we want to do is this. And then call to base at the very end. If we didn't do anything with it, then we will call to base. But I still want to do an early return instead of nesting, so let's do that. So here we will simply call to base. And we'll also call to base if none of those branches worked out. Okay. That's pretty nice. I guess or event has event modifiers non-zero. If it has modifiers, we don't care. We only want like key down, key up, or enter. We don't care about like control up or control down, stuff like that. Yes. What did I do this time? Was that you? Okay. Okay, let's try. Oh, I have to focus the thing. Ah, my keys. Wait, why don't you work now? Oh, if items is empty. Okay, well now I'm just being sloppy. So let's unslop and finally test this thing. Okay, so we're back in business. And this works nicely, yeah. As this is such a weird little thing, but I remember many programs working this way, like sharing the logic between hover and keyboard navigation. So I think that's makes sense to me. It is a little bit weird, like if like you've focused something with hover. It looks like it's hovered, but it's actually not under the cursor. But it still makes sense to me. Yeah, we can tab out of it. So, wow, that was a lot of work to achieve this thing. But I think the system will definitely feel better if you can navigate it this way, so that it doesn't swallow 5 tabs for that, for the tray UI element, for the tray widget. Rather, the tray now acts as a single widget that has internal navigation. I think that is super sweet. And And then now notice that we also, previously we had focus rectangles, these dotted rectangles around each piece of text. We don't have that anymore. But I think that's okay. Oh, this thing doesn't focus when I click on it, but that makes sense to me. I think it should only focus when you tab to it. Because if I'm clicking on this, I don't mean to click here and then start doing a keyboard navigation within this widget. I'm just using the mouse to open something quickly. So I think it's fine for this thing to be tab focus only. It makes perfect sense to me. Yes, yes, I like it very much. So, whew, okay, let's commit some things. So we'll add the tray. Wait, let's see. This thing can definitely be improved. It's certainly overeager with painting, and I do feel that some of the logic came out a bit clunky. Set item checked. Wait, did I end up not using that? No, I am using that. Wait, why don't you? Oh, it was unused for a moment there. But no. Okay, never mind. GUI. Add GUI tray. Dedicated widget for oh, what do we call this? GUI tray for the file picker common locations. So this file picker, the file picker has implemented its common locations tray as a composite widget. Built from a GUI frame with a bunch of GUI button inside it. The problem with that is that it creates a long and annoying chain of tab focusable widgets, or let's call them keyboard focusable widgets. This patch adds GUI tray, which is a dedicated single widget that implements the same UI element, but without child widgets. So yeah, so it's a little bit, it feels like a little bit sad that we have to resort to a custom widget, but at the same time, it's like 200 lines. It's not the end of the world. Plus header. If there's a good abstraction that would allow us to compose this instead of having a custom widget, that might be interesting. But either way, it is also nice to have a dedicated widget for this because it means that we could use it elsewhere. There are other locations where I would like to use a tray or experiment with a tray. I think it could make, for example, a pretty sweet, or it might make an interesting category selector for something like a settings window. Because in the settings window, you can use tabs, but you could potentially use a tray solution instead. It's something to experiment with. I'm not exactly sure. I guess what I'm imagining is if you have like a hierarchy of settings where you have like vastly unrelated settings at a high level, and then those could be represented by items in a tray. And then within each tray item, you could have like a tab widget with more closely related settings. But anyway, that's not what we're doing today. So that's just something I was thinking about trays for. Yes. And then let's use the tray in our friend file picker. Use the new tray widget in file picker. Let's say this, yeah. This shrinks or removes all the extra entries from the keyboard focus chain and makes file picker actually pleasant to navigate with the keyboard. I have to say, it is actually kind of nice now. Okay, let's see. So if I have something selected, how many taps to get back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, down from 16. I would say that's a huge improvement. So that is pretty good. Should we also hide selection in this thing when we're unfocused? Actually, now I feel conflicted because if I switch the window, we should probably still show the selection. Because now I can get back to it. But if I switch to a different widget, we shouldn't show it. That's a problem. So wait, so is focused, is that an overloaded concept? Perhaps that I'm forgetting is focused also implies that the window is focused. If the window is, oh, it has to be active to be considered focused. Shoot. Okay, maybe I, damn it. Let's see, let's undo that change. Oh, wait. Let's undo that change. The text editor selection when focused. And then let's look at what we really wanted to say. So physical line has a selection. So is focused is, yeah, so what we really mean is that if the window is not focused, then we still want to paint it as long as it's the focused widget within this window. So window is active, let's say. Is that what we want? And then we want to gate this on window focused widget is this. So that's actually a little bit convoluted, but I think that actually will give us a nicer looking behavior. No, not browser. Okay, wait, so blah, blah, blah. Click over here. Now it shows in gray. That's good. Reactivate, it's fine. Click on this thing. Now this guy is not showing up. Click over here. Yeah. Tab, tab. Wait, why did that clear out there? Well, that's not related to any of this. Oh man, this just makes so much sense. Yes. See, you can't go there, you can go here. Yeah, it becomes gray. Click. But yeah, so these guys probably shouldn't, or should they? That I'm less sure about that one, because like the selection here is still relevant even though it's not focused, right? Because I go here and I start editing this. Actually, if I do that, maybe this thing should unselect. There's so much stuff to do here. let's not get distracted. Let's just finish up what we were doing. So let's see. So git commit. Don't paint text editor selection and non-focused widgets. If a text editor is not the focused widget in its window, we no longer paint its selection. There was no, wait, what the heck did I say before? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's what I wanted to have. Showing the selection in non-focused text editors was not really useful, since refocusing the widget would clear or change the selection immediately anyway. Note that inactive Windows text editors in inactive Windows can still be the focused widget within that window, and will still be painted with an inactive looking selection. Yeah, there's probably more issues in that area, but I think that's it for today. So pretty good stuff. Some nice GUI polish work, just improving stuff for keyboard navigation, something that it always feels like a good investment, because I'm certainly a heavy keyboard user, and the system is skewed a bit towards, or biased a bit towards, mouse usage, and making these convenience, quality of life improvements for keyboard just feels like a wholesome and nice thing to do. So yeah, that's it. So thank you very much for checking out this video. If you made it here, then I hope it was interesting. And I guess I will see you in the next one. So bye.